Hello guys, welcome to another trade recap, and today we got another loser 3 days in a row. It's been a while, bro, since I had pretty much 3 red race in a row. I think the last one was like the end of May, if I recall correctly. But yeah, if I'm being honest and I'm being completely transparent with you guys, I did fucked up on this trade. I 100% think I jumped too ahead of myself, and the reason for that it was because mid trade, literally when I put the the note over here, I was like, bro, I think I fucked up because recently, recently, quote unquote, like almost I think 1 month ago, we were having this kind of days where pretty much it was a sell off or pretty much rally up higher, and we were creating this range with no retracement back to New York or overnight. And when I was seeing those moves, I was like, okay, let me try a short. And I pretty much got burned a lot taking this type of trades on the first turn on BWAP. So what I started to do on those scenarios, it was just like just wait at least for the second turn. You know what I'm saying? Or just wait for more structure to build, because since we pretty much so like the way I used to look at these days, it was like, okay, we already formed the structure over here. Let me just get my brush. We pretty much already push higher. Now we're not gonna like like B shape this bitch. Most likely, since it's already past 11, we're probably much gonna be like forming some structure over here, and then we can see a push higher, especially because we have overnight inside the range. So there was a high probably most likely we're gonna return to overnight. That's why I had the note over here that pretty much like I got ahead of myself on this trade, and pretty much to be honest, I got stuck on this long. I remember saying to myself, "Fuck, like I'm stuck on this long," you know. So I did fucked up, and I'm not saying this because it was a loser. I actually recall the situations that I had previously seen on the month of July and June. Um, but pretty much I was just seeing this big ass ranges, and then we have the BWAPs above. Usually, price will pierce or just like ignore New York BWAP, go to the other BWAPs, form structure above, and then most likely come lower or go higher. That's something I have seen before this last 2 months. I'm not saying this is gonna happen every time, but recently that's what I have seen price do. That's why I'm basing this, what I'm saying this, on what I have seen the last 2 months. I know back in the start of the year, where pretty much it was a really good, type of continuation trade. But on this condition that we are right now, I just seen that pretty much we can ignore the first turn on New York BWAP and just wait for the second turn, even the turn, to see more structure being formed above or below, depending if we're taking shorts or longs. In this case, I think the correct approach would have been just wait for better structure. Just wait for it. Pretty much the idea that I was referring to. It's just wait for this to form. So like wait for this structure to form, even if it's closer to BWAP or not. In this case, it's on pretty much an overnight. So wait for this structure to form, then see if we can step up again to New York and take along from there. In this case, I mean, we can argue that we can just take the long over here, and target some kind of like this swing high over here, something like that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's kind of late, so I wouldn't be taking this trade, just because it's kind of late already. It's 1 p.m. Eastern time, so really did not trade at that time, unless I was seeing like something going on bookmap or something like that, and also if the scene high was kind of closer, maybe, but again, like I think I guess also asking for a new high of the day after this push high. Pretty much we're all-time highs already, guys. So I think I was asking probably for too much, but yeah, that I think I kind of like got ahead of myself, and I wasn't that heavy in this trade. I took this trade only on my one of my lucid fundeds. I think I'm down like 200 on this trade, which is perfectly fine. I mean, it was something that I wanted to see develop. I wanted to see a push higher though, but 100% I got ahead of myself and I got stuck on this long. And I thought about cutting it, but I was like, bro, if I cut over here, I'm most likely gonna be re-entering again. So let me just see if we can just hold up the levels and push higher, which we clearly got stopped out. And it's kind of tricky because I mean I'm not gonna place my stop all the way to open range low. You know what I'm saying? So it was a tricky stop. I ain't gonna lie. But I mean, it is what it is, bro. Like I'm not like mad about it. It's just like fuck. I recall the situation like mid trade. I got stuck on the long. So I mean, we learn. Just like we're learning from this. So that's pretty much fine. Then the other thing I saw it was just pretty much we haven't actually pulled back to overnight, and we were like too bullish on stocks. We pretty much bullish us, and overall in the morning I was like, well, I'm not gonna like really put that much weight anymore. I was actually looking for that for a double break, possibly long back to overnight. I was looking for that. I was open to that, but which actually ended up playing out today. You know what I'm saying? Like once we close under here, I guess we can put our stop. Um, just get a little bit extra room on this leg over here. Back to overnight, that could be a trade right there. It's actually one of the ideas that I had initially, but I was like, but we're too bullish. Everything, just look at the VWAPs, right? I was just like, we're gonna go long or nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I think the other long action that I was watching, it was something like this. So like, wait for the price to take overnight, like for example, like here, push stop at open range low, and then just like target whatever we can get after this move. And this idea is more based on probabilities on the IB high being taken. So I've been saying like I don't think we're gonna double break the IB low. We're gonna push higher, but I guess the best price I can get probably is gonna be like once, and also like I guess based on stop, you know, that we gonna have the stop on upper range low. We can take the trade on the overnight take, and then just look for a trade back to whatever level we're looking for. Even if you want to use like standard deviations on this, I mean, you can probably target like two standard deviations from this, or even 3.5, which ended up hitting much later on the session. But this is just something I was thinking of once I got stopped out. You know what I'm saying? But I really wasn't that pushing anymore, because I already got this loss, and I was not planning to take another trade just because it was already kind of late in the day. So I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna like push it. And this time actually, guys, I took a picture of the CVD. Let me show you guys a picture. So this was, let me just see if I, okay, yeah, I'm showing it. So this was the picture of the CVD that I'm talking about, guys. Opa. This is my notion, by the way. So this red circles over here, it's pretty much this push lower over here that we had. So when I had the CVD started pushing lower, actually is this um white line over here pushing lower. So I was seeing that and I was like, oh shoot, that's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much since CVD started, falling and falling. This is like 22.15, which is pretty much 11.15. So pretty much we're here, you know. So I mean, something I was watching, I just noted CVD was pushing over here, and before that, it was building up over here, and just like slowing down. So I thought it was a good idea for longs, but like I mentioned before, um, I think I jumped the gun too early, and I could have waited a little bit extra for the second turn. And I'm not saying I'm gonna be taking this long over here just because it's too late, you know. But let's say if we made the turn like around 8:30 over here, I prefer this long over here than this long over here because we already formed structure. You know what I'm saying? So especially just I'm saying this because of the big ass leg that we had in the morning. That's the only reason why I'm saying this, because of this move over here. This is like kind of like, which is pretty much straight up. So I need to see more structure like this form for me to take along. So that's why I think that was a mistake for me today. Just because I have seen this thing before, that's why I'm saying this. I know that we can easily, you know, push higher from here. I mean, if you like cover half of the screen, we can see that that's a totally valid trade, and I totally accept that it's a totally valid trade. But I think the stop on this is kind of tricky because I mean you're gonna put your stop here, or you stop here, or you stop here, or you stop here. You know what I'm saying? So I think the stop on this trade is kind of tricky. That's why I think it's just better to wait to have a little more extra structure so I can have a better stop. Now that I say it a lot, I think that's the better way to say it. I think it was better for me to wait so I can have a better stop on this trade. Um, so yeah, I mean, we live, we learn. It's perfectly fine. I was not over risking. I was, not full pointing in accounts. And one of the things that Austin mentioned, I think I saw it on X today in the morning. was that as long, I mean, the only thing that you can control is your size and what are you risking. And again, like I had been taking three, pretty much, let's say what, four losses in a row already, um, because yesterday I took two losses, and I haven't blown an account. Like my accounts are okay. Yeah, they're in drawdown now, in a sense. But they are not blown. Like this account of Lucid that I'm trading on right now, it's currently on drawdown, but it's not blown. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, despite the fact that I've been taking four losers in a row, um, my accounts are still doing right. They're good still. So I think I need to um recognize that I was doing a good job actually risk management, doing my risk management on this four trades. So something I want to throw out over there. If you're struggling with blowing accounts in just 4 days of losing, I think probably the size might be an issue over here. You know what I'm saying? And again, I mean, it's just I guess you never know if we're gonna win or lose. But that's why I think the only thing that we can control is our sizing, and that's something that I think everybody has like heard before. And for me, it was the lesson that I needed to learn was just when I was doing my prop challenges. I was just blowing those shit up, like just like straight up on 2 days, bro. So I needed to slow down, control my size, even though it was a challenge. Um. So yeah. That's something I wanted to mention to you. If you're struggling right now on this type of like trades, I think lowering your size might be the best option. Just to don't blow the account in two losers on two losers. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Oh, just one more thing. I was going back to my journals and I saw really something interesting. Let me just open my journal really quick. So I was seeing that yesterday. The main thing I was let me just zoom in this. Here we go. So this was a trade from yesterday, and we can see the main issue over here. Pretty much point of control was in our way on this initial double break, right? Then on this the news scandal, whatever happened. But pretty much we're fighting point of control. And something I've been seeing just like point of control. Yeah, it's a really strong point. It's like a really strong level on price, but sometimes it's just like it's I'm surprised sometimes how influence price can get around this level. So in this case, this was quote unquote a point of interest that we actually rejected, like pretty clearly, here. And then to that on Tuesday, we took a long still on ES, right, which was a double break that I was pretty confident on this trade. But if you look over here on the NQ chart, this is the NQ chart over here, we can see that pretty much NQ was not even able to push past point of control. We tap it over here, rejected, but again, and we just pretty much chop around VWAPs. That's what we do around when all the VWAPs are pretty much like super close. But still, again, we tried to take point of control and we failed to take point of control in here. So well, I know it was just something interesting I was seeing on the chart. Like here, like we just point of control to bounce from it, but then Q was not even able to push higher. So maybe something to watch on, especially based on the levels that we were on the higher time frame and why not. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And also, you want to like argue that I was watching the chart. I was watching this, and yeah, we actually broke now this range we were on in Q and on ES. So maybe tomorrow we can find some much better longs tomorrow. But yeah, we actually now we broke the range, so we should be good now. Maybe we can come back, pull back to this level, and just push it from there. But so far we're clear for the longs so far, right? But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for me today. I hope you guys took a winner today. And if you took a loss, I mean, we take it to the chin, understand what we did wrong, what can do better in this case. I could have waited a little bit longer, you should have better structure and a better stop loss from my trade. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me today. That's pretty much it for me today, guys. And I hope you guys have a nice rest of your day. And see you guys tomorrow, last day of the week. Let's just, keep it tight. Patience tomorrow, last day of the week. Let's just, finish the week on a good note. And see you guys tomorrow. Take care.